I suppose, Chris, we should probably have started by, having them introduce themselves.
Yeah.
For anyone
Oh,
who doesn't know who you guys are, introduce yourselves.
After
go
you, sir.
ahead, Mike.
Oh, too kind. My name is Mike Hanau, and I was the former lead singer for a band called Halifax, but now I am the singer and guitar player for a band called Great Danes with my good friend Kevin.
Yeah, and I'm Kevin Donlin, formerly played bass in Halifax for about a year and playing bass and sometimes guitar in Great Danes. Now, Mike here.
And sometimes guitar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, it's because of like technology now. It's
It's
like we
true.
were recording first before sitting in a room and playing music together, which is actually probably the number one reason why we were able to do this. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because you guys both mentioned that you were formerly in Halifax together. You guys left at different times, and then the band eventually became no more.
Right.
For those who don't remember Halifax, though, could you share with them like your individual journeys, like how you went from Halifax until now?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, for me, I was one of the original members of Halifax, and I did a lot of the writing for the band. Um, and when I left, it was just kind of more like a period of life that I was in, I think. Um, just difference of personalities kind of thing. And believe it or not, I went and started working in the video game industry for a really long time. And have always really like I've had a ton of music in my brain that probably would have become Halifax music, but didn't because I left. So um it's actually quite beautiful because I went off and had a career in video, have a career in video games. And then when I was reintroduced to Kevin from that, it was almost like that was where the floodgates kind of opened, and I was able to kind of find all that music that's been building up inside and say, all right, hey, do you like this? Do you like that? Do you like this? And I sometimes feel like I'm really annoying Kevin because I have like a bunch of really, I think, cool ideas that I want to put down. And so we just make it. So it's really not like the coolest story other than I went and got a job, worked for a while, and then somehow found the opportunity to make music again. As for, what happened with Halifax after I left, that's kind of not something that I really know too much about, but tried to keep in touch where I could. Kev, what about you?
Yeah, yeah. As Mike said, he's like the OG of Halifax. Him and Chris Brandt were the two constants pretty much throughout, I'd say, for that band. I joined after it had existed a little bit. I joined right as Mike and them were recording a writer's reference or finishing recording it, and they didn't actually have a bass player at the time. And I was friends with Chris and Adam, and um, joined the band then, and stayed in the band just for a year or so, which was like a pretty critical year of the band. Is when we first got a manager and started playing like bigger shows, and signed with Drive Through, and it was a pretty crazy year. Looking back in retrospect, we played with a lot of bigger bands that are like household names now. It's just seems kind of surreal that we were on these shows back then. And
Yeah.
then ultimately, um, I left the band. Just kind of just wasn't getting along with some of the guys in general, and um, I left and I decided to go back to college. We were kind of around that college-ish age, maybe a little few years out of high school, and I became a civil engineer, and then that's been my career the last 15, 16 years. And yeah, Mike and I got reconnected by a mutual friend of ours who we know through music, who Mike's recorded some demos with and stuff over the years, and who we've just known forever. And I was just screwing around on guitar with some friends of his, and he said, "Hey, you should start a band with Mike now," basically. And I was like, that's a cool idea. Yeah, let's make that happen. And that turned into to Great Danes, even though at that point I hadn't talked to Mike in like you said, about 20 years.
Yeah. I think the last time, well, actually, I interviewed you guys way back in 2004, which was 21 years ago.
That's
Wild.
it's so crazy.
Fucking wild.
Kevin showed me the pictures, and I'm like, I think like that's like one pant leg, that guy back, like it's crazy, man. It's a long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
have
like
more
different
pictures.
humans.
I have
Yeah.
more pictures of different years I saw Halifax when Kevin wasn't in the band anymore. I
Mm.
remember when you guys played at, I think it was the Beat Kitchen on Valentine's Day
Oh,
in Chicago. Yeah. I got some pictures from that. There was like hearts and beads and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a whirlwind for sure. But fond memories all around.
Oh yeah. And like Kevin, you're saying like, oh, I went to college and like everything. You were at that age, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, I graduated high school in '02, so I mean, I would have been
Yeah.
around that age too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh one. I was oh one. Yeah, it was high
Yeah.
school for me.
It's
So
funny how we all grow up together.
Yeah.
You don't think
yeah.
about that, like, oh, I used to watch all these people in bands and stuff, and I'm like, oh, now they're my age. Oh yeah, I guess I was the same age as them back then.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's actually pretty funny. I went to a show recently. I won't say who, but I went to a show and I was having a blast and I look around and it just looks like the same person all around, like the same group of people that were appreciating it. And then you see it's interspliced with those folks, like the newer generation that are appreciating the music. And it's just so cool to see. I love that so much.
Yeah, there's a lot more kids at shows now
Yeah, yeah.
because all the emo
Definitely a
kids are bringing their
generational thing.
kids.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
They're trying to raise them right.
Sure.
Right, Chris?
Right.
I mean, you've
S-
brought your children to shows. Have
I've
you taken
well,
Link
I
to
brought
any?
no, Link hasn't gone to any. Rye's gone to a bunch. So like my 15-year-old was super resistant. Like I'm not going to listen to what mom and dad listen to for the longest time, and he was very much one of those whatever's on the radio kids. And then something changed. I want to say it was a Hot Milk song. Um that got him into it, and then it turned into 4 Year Strong and A Day to Remember, and it just slowly. Yeah, he's gone to a couple.
Yeah, my
Awesome.
son listened to, he got really into Teenagers by Mike Hem, and and I was like, dad played a couple shows with them back in the day. And he's like, okay, dad. Okay.
He's like
Sure,
pics or it
sure
didn't
you did.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was 2004. We didn't really have pictures that
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, we did. I have
you
photos.
did. Yeah. I about fell out of my chair when you sent those photos. I couldn't believe it. It was
Yeah.
awesome to see.
I know it's funny. It's looking back. I have like picture CDs and stuff, like a whole booklet of picture CDs from back then.
Wow.
See, you were disciplined, like you held on to it. That's
I
the
was
thing.
organized.
There you go. You were organized. There you go.
See, Jess, you can name off when you saw them and when they played. Do you guys remember playing Syracuse at all?
Yes,
Yeah,
I do remember playing Syracuse.
I'm sure there was some point you did. I was trying to look for it. I couldn't find it.
I want to
Um,
say a college campus show. I don't remember. I can picture it in my head, and I remember it being a good show, and I can picture like where the stage was in the room and that stuff sort of thing. Um, but anything beyond the room to me, and this goes probably for almost every city, is just like a fog, you know. But I do remember playing there very specifically.
no, you kind of touched on it, just how you guys got back in touch. But what really pushed you guys to make music again and start Great Danes?
You
You
want
want
to
to
take
go,
this?
Mike? Come on, you go first, buddy.
Well, uh, as Kevin said, the friend who like reconnected us, he actually was who I worked with really closely before I left Halifax to record demos. Like back then, the technology was totally different, and he was like learning to be an engineer and stuff. And so he kind of knew me as like him and I sitting in a room figuring out how to put songs on tape or on CD or whatever you want to call it. So when he said, "Hey, Kevin," I was talking to Kevin and he mentioned you and you guys should get together. I had it was like the furthest thing from my brain to make music again. I was just thinking, you know what? I'm at that point. It would be awesome to see Kevin again. Like we should totally sit down and chat. And so like it was like an exchange of numbers. Like I texted him and he got in contact and we sat down and just we literally like talked through the last 20 years probably in about 20 minutes. And then he says, "Oh yeah, and I'm learning how to use Logic and recording music." And I like my brain exploded. And I was like, "Hey, that's cool. I'd love to do that. Would you want to make a band together again? Let's do it." And before you know it, I'm at Kevin's and he's teaching me how to use Logic and how to like literally just like start guitar tracks and stuff. And so we just kind of went ham. There was no slowdown from there. It was just let's learn how to do this together. The whole meeting and not talking for 20 years was gone, like I said, in 20 minutes, and it turned into, "Hey Kevin, what do you think of this?" And it's been that way for the last like year.
Yeah. Yeah, and
It,
for me, like Mike had said, we said 20-year thing, that's no exaggeration. I left Halifax and like basically um never looked back. It wasn't that pleasant of a ending for me to leave the band, and I just sort of kind of forgot about music in general and focused on other things in my life, and uh didn't go to shows as much or anything. But over time I really began to miss playing and writing and stuff. And a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I just started playing guitar more again, and was writing just some other random stuff with other people, just going back and forth, like Mike said, learning the software and kind of experimenting and realizing that we can make pretty legit music together in this format, because Mike and I both work. We're both like project managers, like busy family. We got so much going on that it's not like back in the day where we could devote hours and hours all the time to sit in a room together and do stuff. It's like impossible. So it was cool to meet up with Mike, and I was excited by the idea because I've always known Mike as a great songwriter, and was just excited at the opportunity to make music with him again. So yeah, that became Great Danes. It was like Mike said, we were both really like, it was like we had both been waiting for years. Like, fuck yeah, let's go, let's do this.
I remember being like, "Kevin, should we make like a band name? Like, is this a band? Like, is this a thing?" Like, yeah, I
Yeah,
guess so. All right, cool.
are
Let's
we
go.
together?
Yeah, we together. Is this official?
it's only official if it's like Facebook official, right?
All right.
Or
Yeah.
now is it like Instagram or TikTok official? I don't know.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I was very excited to hear that the two of you had started a new band. And I know the new band is pretty new, but how have like fans, like older fans or even new fans reacted so far?
I I mean, like, I would say generally positive. However, what's insane to me is how different it is getting your music out there, right? So it's like it's one thing to be, "Hey, we're making new music," but it's like, how the heck do you get it in front of people who are interested, who might be interested? Um, so I'd say that of the folks that we've gotten feedback from, and it's, "Hey, this is cool. I dig it. Cool. What else you got? Send us more." Um, but we're also both realizing that the landscape has changed so much, and like whereas back in Halifax, I'm printing CDs and running to the UPS store to send them to record labels or booking agents. And now it's like submit to a playlist. I can push a button, it's on a playlist. What do you mean? I submit to a play, you know what I mean? Like it's just different. So I will say I think people will be really excited because we've released 2 songs so far, but we made the decision in the middle of making this album that we're about to release to re-record a Halifax song that I wrote and actually put it on this album. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
I know.
Hopefully that's the intro. That's the thing people get kind of hooked into.
When's it due out, Mike?
Uh, December 19th, I think. Yeah, I think it's December 19th that
Yeah.
it'll all those streaming.
I don't
But
know. Kevin was nice enough. He sent me a sneak peek, so I've heard
Yeah.
it all.
well, what do you think?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love it all. I think Chris actually finally had listened to it.
I know I'm such a slacker. Me with my two kids and all my life shit. Yeah, I did. It was great.
There's a lot of music out there. I get it. There's like
Yeah.
backlog of stuff that I've been wanting to listen to.
Yeah, and us having this podcast, our Instagrams and social medias are slammed, filled with new music constantly.
Oh yeah. Having this podcast just has made me aware of so many other bands out there. Like just listening on YouTube music and all of a sudden it's like your playlist finishes and then it starts playing some other band and you're like, who is this?
Yeah. Yeah. Rabbit hole the next rabbit hole, the next
Yep.
rabbit hole. Yeah, for sure.
So many bands out there. But it is
Yeah. It's
true that
crazy.
social media nowadays is way different than the MySpace days.
Yeah.
Yeah. MySpace was so easy. You just like had the photos or whatever. It was nothing then. We didn't even do anything. We didn't even have one actually. We just had our manager at the time created some involuntary pop-up thing I remember of of Sydney. Do you remember this, Mike? It was like you couldn't escape it on MySpace. It was something that Heath
Oh yeah, I
Miller put
remember people
together.
being annoyed by us. I remember that being a thing. It's like, oh,
He
every time
like,
I'm on
yeah,
MySpace, I hear Sydney, the debt, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, is that good? I don't know. Um, but yeah, social media landscape is quite crazy now. And so for Great Danes, it's like Kevin and I trying to figure out what sort of content people would be interested in because, at the end of the day, we want to entertain people, but we just love the music and we want people to hear it.
Yeah, we're in the same boat.
yeah,
And now,
yeah.
now, great. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we were stoked you guys responded
Yeah,
when we
agreed.
reached out because as Mike said, it's there's a lot of bands out there. There's a lot of good music out there. So it's like we don't expect a response from anybody. So
Hey,
happy to be here.
I'm an OG Halifax fan. I couldn't say no.
That's
Love
awesome.
it.
And so now I'm curious. You've kind of alluded to this as well, but Great Danes versus Halifax. How's the songwriting process changed in that time?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think I do think technology plays a big role. Uh, because like I'll say for anything I wrote for Halifax, it was just me and an acoustic guitar, and I would just sit there and fiddle with a riff or a melody or something for me to sing, and then I would take it to the rest of the band, and that would be the function or the decision point of whether it would move forward, right? Which, if I'm being completely honest, is was part of the thing that was hard for me because if I'm really passionate about something and it's not something well received by others, that's sometimes dead in the water, which is probably relevant for a lot of other musicians that end up making side projects and stuff. But for now, I will say Kevin and we're very in sync, and oftentimes I'll have an idea and I'll jump on the computer and I'll record something and I'll send it to Kevin and I'll just be like, hey, what do you think? And he'll give me his honest thoughts. And either he'll never hear that thing again, or he'll hear the entire song like with a bunch of different bells and whistles added to it and be like, I went a little further. What do you think now? And then we collaborate from there. Um, so that's why I say I think technology has a lot to do with it because you can actually get the sound in your head out right away versus having to wait 6 months to a year to actually finish a song, get into a studio, pay for a recording, and make it happen. Um,
To
so
rely on the rest of the band too to like come up with their parts and practice it, and
yeah,
it's a whole different thing. You
I
have a lot
mean,
more control now.
from a writing perspective, Kevin and I have only ever written in a room together once. The entire album was done sending sessions back and forth.
Yeah, yeah, we did it all remotely.
Dang.
Yeah,
That's
But
technology
it's
though.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome. Like Mike said, the kind of the five guys in a room sort of tribunal model is one that resulted in a lot of cool stuff for a lot of bands, but it's not as fun all the time because it's hard to get people to agree on everything. And Mike and I both are like really open-minded. I think with this, like we'll try to see the potential in anything either of us brings and go from there. And I think that makes it really fun is just the more like don't worry if it's good. Like, do you like it? Just do it. Like, get weird with it, man, you know?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
lots of there's lots of different ways to get together now though. Like there are still some bands that have gotten together and just all like crashed in like a room or got an Airbnb and just like did it. And then there's bands that are doing it just like you guys are doing it. We've heard everything.
You know, it's
Yeah.
been crazy that we've learned since starting this is how many bands formed like through Craigslist still.
Oh, wow. That's wild. I didn't even think about
I
that.
believe that. I totally believe that. Like metal singer searching for shredding guitarist.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like I could see a world where you might miss the social aspect, like I would hate for
Yeah.
this to be a lonely endeavor. I think that if I didn't have Kevin, I probably wouldn't have the uh enthusiasm or inspiration to keep going because it's like the partner in crime, right? If you're alone, it's like, well, this is cool, but like, who do I get to share it with? Who do I get to be with when along on this journey? And Kev's that for me.
It's true. It's true. Very true.
And now, for anyone that's familiar with Halifax and they're curious about Great Danes, how would you say the two sounds compare to one another? Because to Jess and I, it does sound like there's some Halifax influence in Great Danes.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like still coming from a similar spot inside me, I guess you'd say, with regards to like the style of writing. I think I think age plays a factor. Uh, but I think like anything, your tastes evolve over time and you're constantly influenced when you're creative, you're influenced by the things that you enjoy at that point in time. And so that's changed. So I think it's a combination of a bunch of different things, but the primary thing being, Halifax kind of was spun up in a much faster paced environment. And Kevin and I are really learning how like the magic of really slowing down and kind of almost getting heavier at times than we were back then. Um, and being a
Oh
little
yeah,
more
definitely.
pointed and purposeful, if you will. I will say for myself as a songwriter, it used to be chaotic, like extremely chaotic. It would be like, "Hey, Mike, go write a song," and I'd be like, "I'll let you know if I can. I don't know." And now it's, "Shit, I have 5 minutes. Oh my God, I can't wait to sit down and write a song because I know if I have time, I'm gonna do it." So, but tonally, if you're listening to it, I think it sounds similar. It just sounds a little bit like evolved, if you will.
I can
Yeah.
see that.
I'd say it's a little heavier. Like uh Great Danes is more I guess experimental. I don't know. I don't want to say we're like an experimental band, but we experimented with keys of songs and stuff that we wouldn't really do back in the day. You just kind of like went balls to the wall back in the day. And this time we're just a little more thoughtful, like, oh, maybe it would sound better, in this tuning and then oh, what if we added, a different tune guitar or whatever, just a little more I don't know, just like fun between the two of us kind of working on an art project together, I guess, having fun.
Yeah, yeah, I would also say with Halifax, you sometimes would have to make decisions because I don't know, it sounds weird, but I've personally felt like I would have to make decisions because there was expectations. Whereas now it's what do we like?
Yeah,
It's honestly it's embarrassing how much I listen to our own stuff because I just like it. So
well, that's
that's
part of
just
the
not
QC process for me.
it's not in the brain at all. I never think like, oh, what if or is this okay? I'm just like it's only okay if we say it's okay.
Yeah.
So I would say that's probably the biggest difference.
Yeah, and Mike, you experienced like I wasn't in the band when Strange World really got written. Like we had two songs when I left the band, and then you guys had to. And then this is the Halifax full length inevitability of Strange World.
Mhm.
Um, that was like you even told me when we first met up. Like writing the rest of that was I think you said not quite as fun as like everything prior to that in the band and felt a little more forced because there was the label and like expectations and it's just a different ball game than writing music for music's sake.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I don't want to make it sound like it was, awful by any means, but it was just different, right? It was like a very different like go do this thing. And I think with music and any musician I would expect would say something along these lines, which is like you kind of have to feel excited about it. And if you don't, you're gonna hear it, right? So I would just say
Yeah.
like I never have time for anything now. So when I do have time for music, I'm always fucking excited about it. So
Yeah, you mentioned like the label and everything, but I could see that how like the label back in the day, they definitely pushed bands back in the day. I think all the labels. I think labels are a little more lax nowadays. I feel like they somewhat let people be a little more creative on their own and don't push as much, but obviously they want to push you to release stuff because that's what makes them money.
right.
It's probably more pushed for these bands to manage their social media and come up with
Well,
short
yeah, the
form.
social media.
That's a good
I
point.
think I think that's the biggest difference. Like we've been saying, just Mike and I are like kind of pathetic on the social media, leading that as part of the project. It's hard to come up with stuff, and you have to like. I see all these other band content and stuff, and it's like, man, put a lot of time. I mean, even y'all's content, there's a lot of time put in to do this stuff, and it's great when people help you out with that kind of stuff.
Well, he's
Because
giving
it's
us props on our content, Chris.
Oh, your content's
yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
Is
It
it?
is
Is it
really,
excellent?
I really enjoy it.
We try our best. We try our best. I post random things sometimes too. I'm like, ah, this could maybe get people to see us.
It is primarily you. Whenever I show up, the hates come through real quick.
I don't know about
What?
that.
What's going
How
on with
so? How
that?
Every
so?
every video I've posted, Jess, has gotten hate.
From who? Like the internet?
There was the yeah, from the internet. There was the banana one
Yeah, but that one got people really like
that did
cringed probably. They were probably
probably.
cringing from you eating mustard on a banana.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Uh,
I mean,
we'll
that
let
sounds
you
good.
revisit that if you guys want to.
It's
I
not that
tried it.
bad.
I did my own video and I tried the mustard on the banana and it was a no-go for me.
You put too much on it.
Those flavors seem like they might conflict a little
If you
bit.
if you do like if you do like pea-sized mustard on like
Mm.
a normal bite of a banana, like the I say the flavor cancels out. Like
I
you
say
don't
it
get too
still
much
would
of it.
taste like garbage.
Is it a thing that like people like?
No, so this came about. I was watching a YouTube video and this guy did an AI generated like give me bad food combinations to try, and that was one of them. And he tried it and he's like, "Oh, it's not bad." And I'm like, "There's no way that doesn't taste bad." And I tried. I'm like, "All right, it's not terrible." And then we started
Awesome.
asking people to do it. We've got two people to try it.
Yeah, I think two people tried it. Well, you had someone try it right on a camera during an interview.
I got a thing against mustard, especially honey mustard, and I'm gonna just go ahead and say I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, I think the one on camera, he was trying it with honey mustard, didn't he?
I don't know. I wasn't here. That was one I wasn't here for. But he tried it and he's like, "Your friend Chris sucks."
Yeah, that was Sean. That was Sean.
Yeah,
You weren't there.
yeah,
You for some reason you couldn't make it.
yeah. And then the one that really liked it was Sebi from
Sebi
Germany,
from
right?
the band from Germany, yes.
Yeah.
He loved mustard to start with though, so I mean, I guess you gotta if you're a mustard fan, it might taste better, but if you're not really a mustard fan, it probably doesn't taste that great.
I would try it. There's no bananas in my home at the moment. Otherwise, I'd make it happen right now.
Well, you can always do it later and use that as social media content.
There you go.
All right,
Hey,
perfect.
look at
This is
that.
what we're here for.
Now, you were talking before, just the sound difference, but I'm sure another thing that weighs in on that is musical influence throughout the years kind of changing. What musical influence is kind of shaping you these days?
Whew. Uh, I, I mean, I will say the one constant that's always been there for me is I'm just like a huge Thrice fan. I think it kind of comes through, but That's just one band that I think I'm always gonna love whatever the heck they put out. But over the years, Muse is a big influence on me. Um, I've swallowed the Sleep Token pill. Like I'm absolutely infatuated. I think that they're awesome. Kevin and I both really like. We talk about the Barbarians, California is a fun one that we're really into. Oh, what about you, Kevin?
Yeah, I think for both of us, we're all over the place. It's tough to say what really kind of shines through in music, but like influences are all over. Like my all-time favorite bands are like Neurosis, Tool, and then like your classic, kind of skate punk stuff, No Effects, um, old school punk misfits, all that stuff. Everything influences us, I think, and then also rock music outside of the scene, if you will. Like I really like the singer Michael Kiwanuka. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him, but he, there's this HBO show called Pretty Little Lies. No, Big Little Lies, I think. Anyway, he's the theme song for it. It's really good. But that's like just random music that I found, like you were saying earlier, just kind of randomly that came on after stuff, and I was like, damn, this guy's amazing. And I find influence in that kind of stuff just randomly. I just love finding music all the time and hunting music, but my heart always lies with like heavier music and punk rock.
Yeah.
Jess, I wonder if we were to make a band based on our influences, how intolerable that would be to
I don't
everybody.
know. I
We are
mean,
all over
we like some of the same things.
some. I'm getting you to come around on female fronted bands
Eh,
slowly.
you've gotten me into more female fronted bands, that's for
Okay.
sure.
But then
But
I also like chaotic stuff. Like do you guys know the number 12 looks like you?
No, I'm not
Like
familiar.
nobody
crazy.
knows them. Nobody knows
No,
them,
nobody
Chris.
does know. It's fine. It's fine. They're like crazy grindcore, absolute insanely disharmonic. I like to describe the vocals as a teenage girl being stabbed. Um,
Sounds interesting.
yeah, my and then we do both like pop punk and like post-hardcore and screamo and stuff. So it would be an interesting.
Well, you can steal my band name that I had, the Like Yeah But No's.
Oh, that's good.
Like Yeah But No. That's what my band name was going to be once in a
That's really good.
lifetime, long time ago.
That is good. Yeah. Uh, I think that like anything that for some reason we've talked about this before, but like anything that tells a story, I've got like a weird soft spot for. And anything that can make you at the first listen just move in some way, shape, or form. Like it's embarrassing how much I listen to disco music still. Um, just because it makes me move or I enjoy the sonics, the sounds of it. And sometimes randomly that will inspire me to make music. But yeah,
Nothing wrong with disco.
no.
But for me, I like what always pulls me to music, the common theme is like emotion, sadness, kind of that kind of thing. And when Mike writes, he's talking like, yeah, disco and moving his hips is what's driving the writing, but really he always comes up with like sad, awesome stuff and then puts it to faster stuff and it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually I'm drawn to something that's got a good story. That's like
Yeah.
and like I don't know if you guys have heard the just because it's that season, the Christmas song, his favorite Christmas story by Capital Lights.
Mm-mm.
No, not familiar.
Give it a listen when you're done. Have tissues next to you.
Okay.
It is sad. It is sad. But songs like that, where it's
I'll
like
check it
really
out for
upbeat,
sure.
but damn, it's sad.
Yeah. Well, I think you're touching on also that like, music is supposed to make you feel something, right? It's like art forms in general do that, but music can literally put you in a mood. Or if you're in a mood, it can enhance your mood. And I'm with you on that. I think that if I finish listening to a song and I do feel a certain way, that's like literally success from that artist.
Right.
You're
Love that.
talking about sad Christmas songs, Chris?
Yeah,
What about FM Static, The Christmas Shoes? That's such a
I don't know
sad
that.
song. So sad.
Gotta check these out. Maybe there's
Sad, check out these
a
sad
playlist
Christmas
on our
songs.
hands here.
Should I throw them in the chat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I don't think it's a remake of a song. I think it's just a song they made. I'm like, damn, this is a sad song, but it's a good song. It's funny how that
My jam.
happens. Actually, that you guys got me thinking. Someone asked me the other day, they were asking me, when I like get into music and stuff, am I listening to the music more as I get into it? Like the beat and everything going on? Or am I actually getting into it because of the lyrics?
And what was your answer?
I
Yeah.
said I think it's mostly the sound usually first, and then I get into the lyrics. But I'm curious about you, like when you guys start listening to music, are you more drawn in from like the sound, or are you drawn in more from listening to what the lyrics are saying?
It's the sound, 100% the sound. It can be in another language, it doesn't matter. Like the lyrics are secondary to me. And I don't know if I'm in super minority with that, but it's not part of the music that I primarily consume. It's all about the sound and the feel and all that.
I think it if you're including the sound and the sonics and the way a singer sounds when they say those words in the sound portion of that, then I totally get it because like there's something to a good voice, right? That kind of doesn't matter what they're saying, they sound cool when they say it. Uh,
Right.
but I
It can be
actually
distracting if it's bad, right?
absolutely it can be
If the lyric's bad.
man, this song rips, singer starts singing, you're like, what the fuck is this, you know?
Yeah.
That can happen, but I will say I think the answer to that for me is it depends. There could
Yeah,
be a time where you listen to a song and like the music's just but then the singing starts and you're like, holy shit, like this is hard. This hits heavy here. The singer's really good and this message is great. Um, but usually music starts with the music and that's what pulls you in.
I noticed I do something really recently, especially with a new band. Let's say it's like their freshman album, right? And I will listen to the song and I'm like, dang, this song sounds really like early 2000s skate punk. And like I'll start pulling out like maybe it started since the podcast, Chess, but I'm able to like I'm like listening for their influences. I'm listening for like, man, these guys must have played a lot of Tony Hawk or something
Mm.
like that, you know what I mean? Um,
Yeah. I
That
always
question,
think about that stuff when I'm listening to music.
it's the question is like, what the heck influenced you to make this? Like, what's the brain like that gave birth to the sound?
it's true.
Yeah,
Everyone's different.
yeah.
Now I am curious. I'm gonna talk a little bit about, I want to know how did you guys come up with the name Great Danes? I feel like there's other Great
Um,
Danes out there too.
oh, for sure.
Yeah. True.
We kind of just said fuck it with that, but I we
I'll be
we
playing the court someday on
we
microphone.
we had uh many conversations about song names, band names, and at one point, believe it or not, Jess, we were gonna call the band Broken Glass Syndrome after the Halifax song. It's just like a funny nod. But one day I was having a conversation with someone at my work, and we're talking about like, hey, what'd you do over the weekend? And they're like, oh, I was with my family. We brought the Great Danes, and I was like, wait, what? It's like the dogs. Like we've got Great Danes, and I was like, wait a second, that's kind of a cool name for a band. And before I even thought about like looking it up, I just like, hey, Kevin, Great Danes, thoughts? And he's like, sick. I'm like, all right, we're done. Cool. That was
Yeah.
it.
We
It was
liked it.
sounds kind of
Other
cool.
people liked it, but yeah, we even had a spreadsheet going before of other potential band names and song names and stuff.
Oh
what,
yeah.
Sounds
what what are some of those
Well,
like
failed band
I
names?
was gonna say, what are some of them?
Oh man, the top secret stuff.
I don't
That's
even
why they're
Oh, come
failed.
on. You know
Are
you
the
can
failed band names
share.
gonna? You should use the failed band names as song titles in the future.
they
Yeah,
probably will, and that probably will happen. Uh, I think we absolutely have to have a song called Mustard on Bananas now, but I don't. The only one I can actually even remember is Broken Glass Syndrome because of the tie-in for Halifax. But
Yeah.
Um, I
We had
guess
random stuff. We didn't really have like an identity for the for we had the cart before the horse with that spreadsheet, I think. We
you know what? The name of the first album that we did that's coming out is called Nomad Empire. And there's like some history to it, but we actually almost called the band Nomad Empire. That was one I
yeah,
think was on the chopping block. And we just said, hey, maybe that'll be the name of the album instead.
that's right. I forgot that that was
There you go. Got one. Got one.
got one. Yeah.
Got one. Speaking of Nomad Empire, that is not out yet. It's going to be coming out eventually. But you guys did mention you released two songs so far. Now, what
Mhm.
was the inspiration for Ocean and Deadbolt Serenade?
The Serenade song, I'll go one by one. I wrote a lot of the stuff actually on the album was stuff that has been written for a while, but that song was written like 13, 14 years ago, when I was trying to just do stuff on the side and trying to keep music in my veins. And I brought it to Kevin and was just like, "Hey, I've got this." It's almost like I pulled out of a drawer and said, "Hey, Kevin, what do you think of this?" He's
Blew,
like, "It's pretty
blew
cool.
the dust
Yeah,
off of it.
yeah, maybe we can like zhuzh it up a bit, you know?" And it's one of the songs on the album that's probably a little faster. Kind of contradicts the stuff I said earlier about being a little slower. So, uh, surprised the first one out is a little faster. But yeah, it was just like honestly a take it like a fast-paced, hard-hitting, heavy song that almost felt like one of those things that I just like for me personally had to get out of my system, if you will. Like I needed to write it. I felt the need to write that song. And then Ocean is actually one of the oldest songs and was written in the Halifax era. And I'm gonna just go out and fucking say it, but like it was a song that was kind of rejected, and I was really, to be honest with you, not having it. And I really wanted that song to come out, and I really like it. And it's actually my sister's favorite song I've ever written. So I said, let's put this one together. And I think Kevin, you and I like a lot. That was like the first one we really worked on together, and we both were like, this is cool. Like this should be kind of what we work towards for the sound of Great Danes.
Yeah. Yeah, the sound kind of came together in that one with like the heavier guitar, baritone guitar in Ocean. Um, and then yeah, like you said for Deadbolt Serenade, to me that song's just like a fast kind of punk hardcore. When I did the bass, was just thinking of like 90s hardcore music as I laid the bass down. That was the inspiration for that, and just fun to make these tunes. That's the primary inspiration for us. It's fun.
Fun. Fun is good to have.
Yeah.
And what can you tell listeners about other music that's coming?
We have a 12 song album that is going to be releasing in January that we're really excited about. We haven't set a date yet, but it will be coming out in January. We still have one more single to release before it comes out, which is Sydney, which is a re-record, which we're excited about. But it's kind of what we've been talking about. It's a combination of ideas that have been, if you will, in a drawer that we wanted to flesh out into songs. It's wise, it all fits together, but it's kind of also all over the place into different feelings and vibes. Um, you could say it's a lot of lyrics. The lyrics are a lot of just experiences that have gone through over the last 20 years. There's some loss, there's some gain. I think that I think that it's like really easy for me to say I'm really fucking proud of it, you know? So like I'm excited for people to hear it. Like I'm genuinely pumped for anyone who's even remotely interested in Serenade and Ocean. I think you're gonna really like the rest of the album. So there's some songs on there that I'm really just honestly excited to play live. If I would love to get in front of an audience and play them because there's some cool stuff.
Yeah, and the album I'm really excited about it too. Um, it was like almost like unfinished business for Mike and I to do this album, and we think it came out really well. It was like all just almost an experiment for us at the beginning, and then we ended up um, linking linking up with this guy John Locks, who really made the album sound the way it does, like engineered it and um, crack the whip on us when needed, and helped really bring it together. And he plays guitar on a few of the tracks too, which like really I think elevate those songs. And it really was really fun to hear that, like the stuff come back from John. That was the most exciting part of making it, was like sending stuff off, and then a month or two later it would come back and be this whole polished awesome thing. But um yeah, the music is like you said earlier, there's definitely some Halifax stuff like that I think people will sonically pin back to Halifax, and then there's stuff that is definitely different, that's heavier. There's stuff that's even poppier at times. But at the end of the day, it's all just our kind of punk influence stuff that we're doing here.
For sure. I will also say it's interesting because I would say like almost half of it is stuff that's been around, and then the other half is stuff that's like brand new, which is really fun, and it's symbolic to me because it kind of sparked the run of us making even more, right? So if you listen to the album and you're excited by it, there's a whole other album that's almost done already that we're kind of nearing completion on that we're excited about too. So one of the nice things about this is like with how we're going, there's going to be no shortage of that. So it's fun
Yeah,
stuff.
you can release two albums in the new year.
Yeah.
Probably.
Hey, other bands have done it. They released two albums in 1 year.
Yeah.
Did we just look that up
Yeah,
a
we did.
couple
We just
interviews
talked
ago?
about this
Yeah, I was like, wait, this sounds familiar.
because we were talking about Silverstein and how they released two albums.
Yeah.
Crazy
Hey,
when bands go on those runs and just have like 12 albums in 6 years or something.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got the stuff you're writing, like if you have it, you might as well just record it and put it out there.
Well,
Yeah,
and with technology, you can, right? Like we're
Hmm.
able to record it like where we're sitting right now, you know?
yeah,
So true.
yeah. It's fun to do it live too. That's another aspect of the band that we haven't really talked about, but we created it, in a Zoom session, if you will, but we eventually pulled it out of the computer with a real live, a drummer and another guitarist, and have been practicing and hoping to get some shows booked probably next year. So we're really excited for that part of it too.
I
Yeah, I
was
guess
gonna say, yeah, I got any shows lined up for next year.
None
we
yet.
we've kind of taken our time a bit on that. I think we wanted to like we did everything backwards. We made an album and got all the music done, and now we're like, well, it'd be fun to do this live. How the hell are we gonna do that? Well, we figured it out. We solved that problem, and now we have successfully a live performance that we could do. So I think it's just about finding the right opportunities that we would go out there and start promoting and performing more.
Yeah, and just to throw kind of like a left turn here. Let reminisce a little bit about the Halifax days. Are there any crazy or fun moments from touring or even while you were on stage that you still remember to this day that really stick out?
Well, I mean,
I'm
going
sure
back
we
to
got a
the
lot.
mustard conversation, uh,
Yeah,
we
good
toured
story.
with, if you remember, Homegrown.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're
and
crazy.
there's always like this like end of tour, like last night shenanigans that happens. And the guys from Homegrown during the song Sydney came on is our last song. They came on stage and they hogtied me in Florida, or no, it was somewhere around
I think it
maybe,
was Florida. Yeah,
and they hogtied me and they just poured honey mustard on my face in front of the
I
crowd.
wanted to die.
And I have like an actual gag reflex to it. And so I was like basically like throwing up on stage when I'm supposed to be singing. And I tried to go like grab the mic and like finish the song, but my hand smelled like honey mustard, so then I would just throw it more. So that was that was fun.
I don't know about fun, but
Yeah.
it's memorable.
I
Something you'll
remember
never
like,
forget.
yeah, yeah, Mike. I like don't have all that. It's all getting kind of vague 20 years later. These memories are running together, but I definitely remember remember that moment in your face and everything.
But there was one show we played this like there was these shows where tours collided when like there'd be multiple tours that hit the same city at the same time. So they just have like a big show with all the bands and it end up being like a longer day. and we did this one in Worcester, Massachusetts, and there was this like the stage ended, and then there was like this big like wooden block that was supposed to be like a mini catwalk kind of thing. And I remember I went out and stood on it, and someone grabbed my pants, and it kind of like threw me off balance. And there was this little hole that was like just big enough for my foot, like just big enough for my foot. And my whole leg fell and went down this hole. So my entire body was above this hole, except for my leg was in it. And it was probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life because our manager had to run out and like pick me up because I like could not get myself up. Um, and I'll never forget the feeling of being like, oh, wow, I'm in front of it. Like that is literally a worst nightmare being in front of a big crowd and like falling into a hole, like a sewer opening.
Well, you were probably wearing skinny jeans, so it probably helped, you know,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I could barely move those.
Slipped right
aerodynamics.
in.
Um,
Oh
but
man, I just remember playing shows like, to me, looking back, the stuff that sticks out is just the bands that we were playing with, and like I remember we played a show here in LA with My Chemical Romance, and Avenged Sevenfold was the headliner, and it was like us. We opened, I believe, right, Mike? We were like
I think there was
open
an
openers,
opener and then it was us and then
and
my
then yeah, and like no one really liked us, but it's not like people were cheering for us. But if I remember right, people actually were like booing at My Chemical Romance because they were all there for Avenged Sevenfold, and this was like Three Cheers. I don't think had even come out yet. It was like, or maybe it was right around that time that Three Cheers was about to come out, where they were about to really blow up, and like that. That's so strange to look back on as like a crowd displeased with My Chemical Romance during during
yeah.
that time period.
Yeah, I mean there was a few stories like that. I mean we toured, I remember I toured with Paramore, and like Haley was like 15 at the time, something like that. She was like super young. Um, and I want to say like her dad was their tour mate, like driving them. And I just remember being like, holy crap, like there's like so much talent in this band. Like this is unreal. It was so fun to watch them every night. And then sure enough, like you go, you finish the tour, you go your separate ways, and then I get to see like what they've become and like what she's become. And that's actually really cool to like have been a part of that earlier on. That's a fun thing to look back on.
I was trying to think back in '04 when I interviewed you way back when that was at the Metro, and I'm trying to remember who the other bands were on that show.
Uh, it might have been, was Medina Lake there? That might have been one of the bands, Medina
I was
Lake.
trying to look it up on my phone while we were chatting, and I'm like, I can't figure out who it was.
Yeah. I mean, I think we only played at the Metro like once or twice total. And I think one of them was with Medina Lake. Maybe like,
It kind of sounds familiar, like it would have been them,
yeah, not sure.
but I swear it's on my CD that I have pictures on because I'm organized, remember?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
But I can't remember, and I feel like Chris is trying to look it up too.
I'll find it.
He'll
Give me a
find
minute.
it. He'll find
I'm
it.
always Googling shit.
Now, we touched a little bit about this. Like, MySpace was big when Halifax was a band, and now times have changed. Like, I'm trying to think of how to reword this. Like, maybe I'll just scratch this whole question, Chris, you know? We've already kind of talked about it.
It's
I was
probably a
gonna
good
ask,
idea.
like, how do you feel like about social medias these days versus MySpace? But maybe we could just talk about MySpace, you know?
Well, I will say one thing. I don't know if I said it earlier, but I was thinking it was like your social media presence is just as much part of your product now than your music is. And I think that like that's one of the things that's super interesting. And you mentioned it earlier how like a label might push you more for social versus actually your music and your sound. It makes total sense. Like your social media presence is part of the actual product that people are buying into, and people consume social media arguably just as much, if not more, than they consume audio media, like the
Hmm.
listening to music. So it totally makes sense. It's just one of those like times are changing, and every time we talk about it, I think to myself, God, I sound like a back in my day kind of guy, like an
Yeah,
old,
Oh, I always say that. I'm always like, back in the day.
yeah.
yeah. We're getting too
So
old for this shit, social media stuff.
Do you remember what your background was on MySpace? Because mine was a bunch of Pikachus.
I don't. I remember when it was like you had all those customizations all of a sudden, or people would do like the HTML before you could like officially do it.
All I remember was there was a thing that was like top eight, and if you were on the top eight, you were like important or something like that. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were super important then.
top eight meant drama a lot of the
yeah.
time,
I was
especially in
just
like
gonna say
personal, right?
some Mean Girls shit. The top eight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Until you could make it like a top 50 or whatever you wanted it to be.
That was
Then you
Yeah,
could like they could add more people so then less people would be mad at you.
yeah.
Chris usually
I
chimes in that he still has his HTML from then.
I do. I found it in like a text file on my Google Drive, and I'm like, I really wish I could code this up somewhere and just plug it in and see what it looked like. But
that's amazing.
I did find you can like as part of like the Internet Web Archive project, if you know what your um like profile was, a lot of them are actually archived.
Oh no.
So I did find mine. I think it was snapshot in like 2009 or something like that. But and
that's
also whoever snapshotting it is, it's like a Spanish company, so everything is translated, but you can still see what it looked like.
You can see the awesome photos.
yeah.
I was gonna say, Chris, if you're still looking for that lineup, it was September 14th was the interview date.
Ironically, it's not in concert archives at all.
Ironically, it's just too old, I
Which year?
guess. 2004.
Oh, okay. So I was still in the band then even.
Yeah. You weren't
That
at the
must have been
interview
the
though.
that
Oh,
must
I
have been
did
the
find
show
it.
that Pete Wentz came to. I remember that as a strange thing happening. You remember that, Mike?
Pete used to show up at shows randomly all the time. That was when Fall Out Boy was like a lot smaller.
Yeah, yeah, that's another band that was just
We
that self-titled album was
we
like,
would stay with Chris, right? We would stay with the
yeah,
merch guy for them. He was a good friend of ours.
It
yeah,
was
I remember that.
homegrown, almost cool Spitalfield.
Okay.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is it
So it's part of that
Spitalfield or
same tour.
Spitalfield?
Spittle. I always said
I always
spittle.
said
Fiddle,
Spitalfield.
yeah.
Why Spittle?
I don't know.
I don't
Wouldn't that be
know.
two T's? Spittle?
Spittle? No. I don't think so. Are we gonna
I don't
debate
know.
this?
I think
Yeah.
it's Bateau PL.
I don't know. We're gonna have to ask the internet. Is it
Well,
Spitalfield or Spitalfield?
I I would say in Chris's defense, you replaced the T with an N and you got spinal, so that would make sense. Spidal, maybe?
Yeah.
Spittle, spidal?
Uh-oh, the great debate is gonna start.
We better hit somebody up and find out the answer to this.
We'll hit up Spitalfield.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, they can come on.
Isn't
Settle it.
spittle like where you just like
Yeah.
You spit? I don't know. Well, look up what a spittle is. I don't know. I was gonna say I probably could have just stood up here, Chris, and walked and looked at my ticket stubs on the back on my wall, and
Oh,
probably there's a
wow.
ticket stub up there.
Is that what those are? Those are
Yeah,
tickets.
That's
those are all.
amazing.
That's a bunch of ticket stubs.
Oh, that's
I have
amazing.
more.
That is really cool.
I still have more, but those are the ones I did a long time ago and never made another poster board. But I have enough to probably fill another big poster board at least.
Awesome.
Yeah. But
I
those are
had
like
a
early
bunch.
2000s ones, I think. So,
That's so cool. Yeah, I had stuff from that era and I had a shoebox full of them and they just vanished. I have no idea.
yeah,
So
it sucks
sad.
nowadays actually, because unless you like ask for like a will call ticket or something, everything's on your phone and you don't get a ticket stub.
Yeah.
Miss the ticket stub days.
I do too. I was stoked last time we had will call and we got there and I was like, yeah, we get an
Yeah, I
actual
can add
ticket to
that.
keep. This is
You can
awesome.
add that to your collection that you lost.
Yeah.
But I decided on a whim that we'd like to try something different with the two of you. And we were going to ask you just a few this or that questions, but it's a band edition.
Sweet.
Love it.
Do it. Thought about it. I'm in.
It's not too many questions. The first one I have is My Chemical Romance or Fall Out Boy?
MCR for me, I think.
Yeah, Mike Cam.
Oh, they're my chems.
Converse or
Nothing
Vans?
against Fall Out Boy.
Would you say?
Converse or Vans?
Hands for me.
I think I'm Converse. Yeah, I think I'm Converse.
Yeah, see, I've always been a Chuck Taylor girl.
Yeah.
But now I've been
Vans.
wearing Vans sometimes. I don't know. Whichever ones are more comfortable and have more orthopedics in them now, right? That's how it's going to be now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Vans
now
has some nice supports these days.
yeah, Vans is what that what do they call it? The comfy cush sole
Something
that they
like
have?
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sleeping in a van or a sketchy motel.
I gotta say the van. At the very least, I know where all the weirdness came from.
I'll stay in the sketchy motel with my own sleeping bag.
Yeah. Just like zipped over your face, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And don't bring a black light.
No.
No,
Don't open your eyes. Just close your eyes and go in and fall down.
I mean we don't know much about the van either here. Let's be real.
But he knows where that stuff might have been from. At least he knows the people in the van. You don't know who slept in that hotel room last.
It's
All right.
relatively uh known horribleness.
High stage or ground level?
Ground level.
Ground level. High stage is so fucking awkward.
Yeah.
You don't like looking down upon your fans.
You like to be in with the fans. Like ground level, you'd be really like intimate with them.
I mean, let's be real. It's all supposed to be fun, right?
It's
Like
true.
the only
Yeah.
the only con against ground level is that maybe there's people who don't get as good of a show, you know? Because like the point is to have fun and enjoy the show, but like I don't know. When you say high stage, I'm picturing like really high, and sometimes that can just be
I
really
guess
awkward.
a Warp Tour stage would have been kind of high
Yeah.
back
It's
in the
just
day.
the intimate stuff was always more fun, I thought.
Yeah, I will
Agreed.
take a small venue over a big venue any day.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think sound is a big difference, but yeah.
This is true. Now, would you rather this or that, wake up early or driving overnight?
Ooh, wake up early these days.
I mean, I'm both that wake up early these days and back then. I mean, I remember very clearly the feeling of being up really early and driving like on a highway in the middle of nowhere and it just being kind of like calm and quiet and cool. Sometimes it's cold and you roll the window down, but you bundle up anyway. Like it's just nice. I loved that.
Like that too. I do a lot of early morning drives for my current job, so I definitely still like that. Kind of out on the country roads, if you will.
And finally, we got watching TV or doom scrolling.
Oh man. I'd like to say watching TV, but if you observed me, it would clearly be doom scrolling, I
Well, is it would you rather or would you do?
Would you
think. Yeah.
rather, right? This
Yeah,
It's a this or
Okay.
that.
this or that. Okay. I would say watching TV. I would say put it at the end of a night, if I watched TV or if like it was like winding down and I had just watched TV for a while, I feel less horrible about myself than if I had just like doom scrolled for hours.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
Definitely.
this day and age, I feel like we find ourselves watching TV but doom scrolling at the same time all the time.
Yeah.
Brain literally gets nothing from it, either one.
Yeah.
I know. Should all read a
Yeah.
book, although I don't really like reading books.
Yeah.
Reading's hard.
It is. I've always been a slow reader, so I've never really got into reading that much. I'll listen to a book. Audiobooks are
I'm the
good.
same. I'm the same with the slow reader thing and everything. It's always been a barrier for me. The book has to be like really fucking good for me to get into it. Then if it's like really good. I'll won't be able to put it down. But like 9 out of 10 books, it's like I can't do it.
Yeah. What takes some people like 2 weeks to read a book takes me like 2 months. Chris likes to read, right?
Yeah, it's slowed down a lot, and I'm only reading one thing now, like one, I guess you would call it like a genre, right?
I
So
Yeah.
guess. Book
What are you reading?
genres.
I am heavily into like Greek mysticism of like, ancient Greek when back when they would do like polytheism and all that stuff, like
Oh, that's cool.
learning how they lived and all that kind of stuff. I have 12-ish unread books about it
Well,
sitting underneath me right now. Yeah. I go down a rabbit hole.
like history books.
Kind of sort of history books, ones that kind of dive into the difference between the mythology and the mysticism. Long story short, all like the Greek gods that you know of from mythology were actually just originally names for things. So when they say, oh, the Greeks had gods that explained this or that, well, yes and no. It was originally just a name that meant like the sky or thunder, like with Zeus. And then a poet came along and personified it all. And that's when mythology took over. And like learning that delineation and just how they lived. I don't know. That's probably the nerdiest thing about me.
Was the
Uh,
poet's name Stanley? Sorry. But it does sound like that, right? It's like
yeah,
it's scary how similar it is.
yeah, just the amount that a way of life was turned into stories
Yeah.
by a poet. It's
Hmm.
crazy. All right, so one of our second to last question, right, Jess?
Yes.
This one we're going on the topic a little bit more back to like the mustard banana here. Um, it's midnight, you're really hungry. You're like, why the heck am I awake? Why the heck am I hungry? You just go to your ugh. You go over, edit that one for once, Jess. Edit some audio on me. You go over to your freezer, you pull out a bag of frozen French fries, throw them in your air fryer, your oven, however you want to cook them, put them in the microwave if you're a psycho. Um, and now you're like, oh man, what am I going to dip these in? What dip are you searching out?
For French fries in particular.
Yes.
Yes.
Man.
Can it
Well,
be any?
lately I've been making stuff, me personally, like I made barbecue sauce the other day, which is not hard if you Google it, it's mostly ketchup, but I was pretty proud of that. And for dinner tonight, actually, right before we got on this podcast, we made some air fried onion rings, which I enjoyed with that barbecue sauce. So got an actual real world answer.
I go to the farmer's market a lot and I get this really good like miso dressing and I
Mm.
probably dip it in that.
Ooh.
That's because that's also like what I have, but I'd probably dip it in that.
Miso. We've never had that answer,
We've never
Chris.
had that one. I like it.
I don't know if I
But
would do that.
tell us more
I'm a
about it, Mike.
barbecue sauce girl, so
Yeah. What kind of miso? Is it like an aioli? What is it, Mike?
Oh no, it's like a thick like a miso glaze. It's almost like you know, it'd probably be more like for folks who would dip in ranch, but it's not ranch.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
creamy.
Sounds tasty.
hmm. I'm not a ranch fan, so
Ooh,
I'm
ranch would be
sorry.
that would be number two for me. I love ranch.
Sorry, not
Enjoy
sorry.
ranch.
Sorry.
I know a lot of people are like really it's a polarizing substance ranch can be.
See,
It's
now me,
true.
I've come around a little bit, Jess. So I'm normally a purist, right? Like my opinion is if you're dipping your French fry in something, you're masking a bad French fry. Like you're just, wow, this tastes awful. What can I make it taste like instead? But lately, so there's a restaurant up here in Syracuse that is known for their tenders, and I always go for the buffalo tenders. Now, if the French fries are touching that, just so I happen to be touching that sauce, I'm all about it. But I can't go out of my way to
Ask for some buffalo sauce on the side to dip them in.
no, no, no.
Ah,
We've only had like one other person say that they don't dip it in anything.
I get it. Enjoy the actual taste of what you're eating.
it's true. That's how I feel about some things. Like I get like less salty potato chips if I can get the ones that have less salt, because I want to actually taste the potato, not the salt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That's the
like that
truth.
I'm
with coffee. I like I don't like to do. I don't drink my coffee black, but I don't put much in it because that's what I want to taste. Is coffee.
That
Now,
is true.
since we've heard my weird combination of banana and mustard, do you guys have any weird food combos you enjoy, or like if you told somebody you'd be like, "Oh man, they are gonna judge me hard for this."
I don't know off the top of my head, but your banana one made me think of one time I was camping, and I was eating a banana, and I was also drinking a Budweiser, like an original, not a Bud Light, but an original Budweiser, and I was shocked that those tasted delicious together. So that's something else. I think I challenge you guys to try that I thought was really tasty.
Chris, you can try it.
You know, I could. It wouldn't be a Budweiser though. I meant to make beer battered fish for like a really long time, and I've had the 6 pack of Milwaukee's Best sitting on top of my
Oh my
fridge
God, you have the
for the
beast in
better
your fridge.
for the better part of like a year and a half.
It's not called the beast because it's good. It's called the beast because it's not good.
I'm mixing it with batter.
I guess. If you want your fish to taste like not so good beer.
Listen, that's the best you guys got to offer, okay?
Go with PBR instead.
PBR is not bad.
Now
I
we talked
sometimes
about beer.
I, I sometimes make eggs with just like scrambled eggs with toast and like cut up apples. And every so often I'll like put pepper on my eggs and I'll accidentally put a bunch of pepper on my toast and my apples. And surprisingly, apples with pepper is really good.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had pepper on apples before.
Just
I'm
slice it.
usually a cinnamon and sugar girl.
There you go.
Make it like an apple pie. But I think
Uh,
my weirdest combination would have to be, I don't know, I have a couple of them. I used to make these sandwiches as a kid, and they would be bread, Miracle Whip, lettuce, and bacon bits,
Oh,
but Bacon bits.
that's
mm,
And I would have
sounds
that
bomb.
sandwich. But you have to eat it right away because otherwise the Bacon bits get soggy. I
You
wanted them to just
lose the
sit there and
texture.
crunch the whole time. I was obsessed with that as a kid.
Doesn't
that's
sound
actually
bad,
really
actually.
good.
Kind of like a BLT, basically. Just like
Kind of, but it's like fake bacon because it's the Bacon bits. It's not
it's
real.
fine.
It's
I
all
dig
like
it. I'm
cornstarch. I think
vegetarian.
it's all like cornstarch, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember those are yeah, they're vegetarian. I remember that being like a big reveal back in the day. Like
Or
shit,
I or
vegetarians
I
can
put
eat
my
bacon.
grandma's sweet pickles on a grilled cheese.
Mm,
Now, just because we were talking about beer, have you guys heard of a drink called the Ramos Gin Fizz?
no.
Okay, so I was out this past weekend at a bar and this bartender looked really, really pissed off. And so I'm watching him, and this drink supposedly is infamous for you need to shake it for 10 minutes because there's an egg white in it. And for it to like fully incorporate, you have to shake it for 10 to 15 minutes. And I just watched him get more and more pissed as he's shaking this drink. And I just kind of turned to him like, first of all, what is this? And he explained, I'm like, can you point out the asshole that that just ordered this? And it turned out his fellow bartender just pranked him and wanted him to shake for 10 to 15 minutes. Like, wow.
Well done.
And he did it. He stuck it out.
He stuck it. He didn't tell him until the end.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, you didn't have to put that in. I put that order in on the board just to see if you would make it.
Was he a new bartender?
No, I've seen him there
I
before.
was gonna say, was he getting hazed?
Yeah, it sounds like a hazing.
The other bartender must have been in a frat. He had to relive his hazing days. But we have come to our very last and final, most important question of the night or day or whenever people are listening to this. Uh, what is your favorite dinosaur?
Oh man. I've got a 4-year-old right now, so actually there's a lot of dinosaurs around in my life. And I'm kind of blanking on all the cool ones other than T-Rex, which is primary. So I gotta go T-Rex today, I think. Sorry if I stole your thunder there, Mike, with T-Rex, but
Nah, I think that I've always kind of liked the how chill like brontosauruses are. Like they're just kind of fucking massive and chill, and they just walk around eating their leaves and minding their own business. I think I
Minding
like
their own
those
business. It's true. Gentle giants.
gentle giants. You could try and attack me. I don't know, maybe you can, but I'm just gonna stand around and do my thing.
But, well, that was our last question. My dinosaur is a Brachiosaurus, which is similar to a Brontosaurus.
And mine,
what's different?
Well, the Brachiosaurus has more of a hump on its head, on the top of its head, and
Okay,
a
okay,
Brontosaurus has more of like a, flatter head. If you remember The Land Before Time, no, that's a Brontosaurus. But then if
right.
you like watch the Jurassic Park movie, the Brachiosaurus is the one that sneezed on them in
Mm.
the tree.
Those are both fun, fun childhood memories.
Right? I remember getting scared shitless when I was a kid watching Jurassic Park in the theater and I kept leaving during the scary parts. Like leaving the theater, I had to walk out during
Dude,
them. And
it
like
was scary as
I
fuck.
I would like listen outside the door until I stopped hearing like people screaming or things happening and then I'd go back in.
It's awesome. The movie was fucking crazy in the 90s when that came out. That was like something else.
It was before its time.
and that CGI kind of still holds up
It
with
does.
like those scenes that were CGI'd.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Chris,
But
what's your
Chris, I was gonna say, Chris, you gotta tell
yeah?
you're a dinosaur.
Ankylosaur, right? The shelled, armored dinosaur with the big old club tail.
Badass.
We learned so much from our paleontologist. We
You
had
guys
a
have a
paleontologist
paleontologist?
on the podcast, yeah.
Yeah, they call him well, he calls himself the pop
The
punk
pop
paleontologist.
punk paleontologist, yeah.
That's pretty sweet. That's
That's pretty
amazing.
sweet.
I love that.
See, when we started this podcast, it was all about music and everything. So we were like, you know what, though? There's people in other professions that are into music. We can talk to them about their profession and talk about music they like. We just got to find the right people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said, why not have a paleontologist on the podcast? And didn't we talk to him for like ever?
2-ish hours?
Yeah, we talked for a long
Yeah.
time with him,
I think that's
It's
awesome.
awesome.
but it was a lot of fun. But the dinosaur question was our final question. It was the most important one. I should probably start making, maybe I should tell people about it beforehand and they can research dinosaurs more.
Yeah, yeah. I could have used a heads up for sure.
That's okay. The answers you gave are pretty similar to other people because it's kind of like they're not expecting that. They're like, oh, I'm getting asked about a dinosaur. Now I really have to think.
Yeah,
But then you get some random people that are really into dinosaurs and they give you like a really good dinosaur that you've never heard of. And I'm just like, oh, I've never heard of that one.
They like talk about music for like an hour and a half and they're like, whatever. And then they talk about dinosaurs and they just like light up and like flip out and have like an
We
aha.
have had a couple people that have like freaked out about the dinosaur question.
That's awesome.
Few and far between though. But but yeah, thanks for reaching out, Kevin, and thanks for coming on the podcast. It's been fun chatting and kind of catching up. It's been, you know, 21 years since I first, talked to Mike and met you probably, Kevin, 21 years ago because that was 2004. So
yep. Yeah, yeah. Great to reconnect. It's cool to find someone that we had history with. That was such a cool surprise. I saw this pod on Reddit for one of the other episodes you did, and I was like, oh, that seems like people that could potentially have interest in this project. And boom,
oh, well,
there you.
that's good. I'm glad I'm getting noticed on Reddit.
Yeah, totally. That's how I found you. It's lurking
Dang.
the pop punkers subreddit.
I know I try to post our stuff in there because I don't post under our podcast name though because there's rules, I guess, about promoting
Dude,
yourself. So I'm just
that's
like, oh,
crazy.
I'll just post it under a regular profile and be like, hey, check out this interview.
Yeah, it's not me.
It's not. It's not me at all.
Kevin said it earlier, but I just want to reiterate, like we really do appreciate y'all taking the time to talk to us and any interest y'all have. It means a lot, and it is good to see you again and talk again. So we just really appreciate it.
Yeah. I'll look up some more pictures of me and you, Mike. I got
Yeah,
more. I got more from the other years,
no,
Send them
definitely
your way.
Bust them out. Bust them out.
different hairstyles. That's always fun.
You had a little shaggier hair back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good word to use.
Shaggier hair.
Yeah.
But yep, it's been fun. Thanks for coming on. And yeah, I'll let you guys.